Hey everyone, welcome to the Head and Neck Anatomy series. So, before diving into today's topic, I want to mention that I will be creating one video from each topic of biomedical sciences. So, for instance, after this anatomy, I will just go to the general histology series with its first video. As we know, right, aided exam covers a wide range of topics, so better to have an understanding of each and every topic rather than just focusing on one topic and going into detail about that particular topic only. So yeah, let's get started without any further delay. Okay, so the first topic is the cranium. It's just a very basic understanding we should have about cranium, that it is divided into neurocranium and the viscerocranium. So now what is neurocranium? Neurocranium is nothing but the bony case of our brain, and it also has the membranes, that is cranial meninges. And the interesting thing is that it has the proximal part of our cranial nerves and vasculature of our brain. So now in adults, if you see, it is divided into almost 8 bones. How 8 bones? That there are four which are singular bones, and those are frontal, ethmoid, occipital, and sphenoidal. And the other two sets, that is the temporal and the parietal, they are the paired ones. Now, second, we'll talk about viscerocranium. So, viscerocranium is nothing but it has our facial bones, and these facial bones are basically derived from the pharyngeal arches, and it forms the anterior part of our cranium. So, all the lower jaw, nose, nasal cavity, most of our orbits, and out of those, only vomer, mandible, and hyoid bone are the ones which are singular. Rest everything is paired. So now the bones of the viscerocranium, that is the facial bones, they all are formed from intramembranous growth except for the mandibular condyle. And the mandibular condyle is formed by endochondral growth. Okay, so this is just a fact slide. So we just need to remember that pterion is the weakest part of the skull. Why is that so? Because deep to this pterion, there is a middle meningeal artery which runs, and this middle meningeal artery is basically located in the middle cranial fossa. And yes, what is a pterion basically? So pterion is a junction of four bones: frontal, parietal, temporal, and sphenoid, as we can see in the diagram. Okay, so here comes the most important slide, that is cranial nerves. So as we all know that there are 12 cranial nerves, and in order to remember them in a sequence, I have just put the mnemonics in front of the nerves. So for instance, let's say that the first cranial nerve is, and this is because I have experienced this, I always got confused, that I know that it starts from O, the first three, but I always used to get confused when I used to prepare that, whether the olfactory was the first or the optic was the first, or maybe the oculomotor. So I would just say that just remember, first and the second letter for especially this first three cranial nerves. So for instance, let's say that olfactory, it's OL, so you can say all. Then for second it is optics, so OP, and for the third it is oculomotor, so OC. So in that way, it's good to have first second letter of this three cranial nerves to be memorized. So this is just a mnemonic. It's very funny, I know, it's like very vague, but if it helps, so I just made that all open ocean towards Thailand are facing vast geographical vacation as heat increases. So that's how you will remember olfactory, optic, oculomotor, trochlear, trigeminal, abducens, and so on. So yeah, that's the 12. Although I would make a separate videos of all the important ones like trigeminal, facial, hypoglossal, glossopharyngeal. I'm planning to make a separate videos of each cranial nerve, but it's just important to memorize them in a sequence. And yeah, so also along with that, we need to know that which one is sensory, which one is motor, and which cranial nerve is, for example, both. So this is how I had remembered that some says money matters, but my brother says big brain matter most. So for S, it is sensory. For M it is motor, and for B it's both, right? So it's sensory also and it's motor also, so it's both for B. Okay, so that's how it is. So these are just the mnemonics which I found helpful for myself. Okay, so yet another important slide, that is the foraminal contains. So from which foramen which nerve passes. So for the first one, it's an optic canal. So optic canal starts from O, and so therefore everything from passing through that also is from O. So you can see that optic canal, optic nerve, ophthalmic artery. Okay. Second important foramina is here foramen oval. So foramen oval, remember the rhyming word is male. So for male it is M star. So M is for the mandibular nerve, and then A is for the accessory meningeal, L is for the lesser petrosal, and E is for the emissary vein. That's how it is male. So oval male. And yes, one more important thing here is that from foramen oval it is mandibular nerve, and from foramen rotundum it is the maxillary nerve. That is the second division of trigeminal nerve. Now, the third one is the jugular foramen. So let's just first go to the superior orbital fissure. So for superior orbital fissure, it is 3, 4, 5, and 6. And for fifth cranial nerve, it is only just the first branch of ophthalmic nerve, okay? Because we know that the second and the third are from the rotundum and the oval. So just remember in a sequence 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 only 1. That is all from the superior orbital fissure. So after 3, 4, 5, 6, the seventh and the eighth cranial nerve is from the internal acoustic meatus. That is your facial and the vestibulocochlear nerve. So now we are done till 8. So from 9, 10, and 11, these are from the jugular foramen. Along with jugular foramen, remember J, so there is internal jugular vein also which passes. Then there are two sinuses which passes through the jugular foramen, that is the sigmoid and the petrosal sinus. And then lastly, posterior meningeal artery also passes through there. Then the last foramen is here, foramen magnum. So foramen magnum, remember like a mango, so very sweet mango. So V is for your vertebral artery, S is for your spinal roots of accessory nerve, that is your 11th cranial nerve, and M is for the medulla oblongata. So that's why it is very sweet mango, VSM. And yes, the 12th cranial nerve passes through the hypoglossal canal. So here is one more picture of the same foraminal content which we saw in the last diagram. So I'll just put it in an order just to make it easy to memorize. So you can see that the first is the optic nerve, which is put in the first column, and that's how it is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then till 12. I have also marked the mnemonics, that is highlighted with the red color, so you can just easily identify how to remember things. And yeah, that's about the foraminal content, but this is very important, and especially remember about the oval and the rotundum. Okay, so moving on to the next slide. So this one again shows all the three important foramen. Sorry, I forgot to mention about the foramen spinosum, which has meningeal artery, nerve, and vein. And this rotundum, oval, and foramen spinosum, all of them are a part of greater wing of sphenoid. Okay, so that is in the middle cranial fossa. Another thing is that the ophthalmic artery, which passes through the optic canal, it is a branch of internal carotid artery, and that is major supply of our orbit and eye. So all of these are the facts points which are taken from NBD first aid and from the biomedical sciences. So another important thing is bones of orbit. I know I'm saying everything important because I've just taken important things only for these slides, and nothing. I just feel like these are very important to remember. So yeah, so the bones of orbit, there are 7 bones, and this mnemonic is FM, please. So for F it is frontal, and M maxilla, parietal, lacrimal, ethmoid, zygoma, and sphenoid. So these are the 7 bones which actually form the orbit. So yeah, that's only the thing which we need to remember from the cranium portion. And if I do feel like something I have missed, I will just put it in my other video. So yes, let's do some questions. So I'll just incorporated two questions for practice. Okay, so the question is a bony channel located in the sphenoid bone. I'm sorry, I missed writing that there is a tumor in the bony channel located in the sphenoid bone. And then there is a concern that this tumor is compressing the optic nerve and which other structure. So the options are ophthalmic nerve, oculomotor nerve, ophthalmic artery, or the optic artery. So as we know that a bony channel located in the sphenoid bone, first of all, what it is? Optic canal. So this is an indirect way of asking. So optic canal has what two structure? It's from O, so optic nerve and ophthalmic artery, and not the ophthalmic nerve. Alrighty, so the second question is, through what cranial bone does the internal carotid artery passes through? So you can just post a video and do it by yourself. And I forgot to mention this one is was there in the video in the foraminal content section. So yeah, the correct answer here is option D, that is the carotid canal. Okay, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and please let me know in the comment section if you want me to do video on any particular topic. And otherwise, I was planning to do general histology first video, and I'm just planning to cover biomedical sciences portion first. But yes, I'll see how it goes. So yeah, thank you so much again, and yes, I'll try to incorporate more questions from next time. And thank you so much again. Bye.